and the producer who works, he hasn't slept for at least 3 years. Because he did The Brutalist too. And this is an epic, like, fable, based on a very real person, but it is a fable. It is mystical and mythological in a lot of ways, which I think makes it even more special, like a fairy tale. But that guy was like, yeah, no, sometimes we just didn't have enough money for the next week, but we figured it out. And I was like, we were in Budapest, sweating in 100-degree weather, and we weren't sure if we were gonna get shut down. Like, I don't know if we ever got that close. It might have just been kind of maybe he was just exaggerating his own stress level, but I didn't know, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it would have been devastating because of the work that we put in, and we were all there.
Yes. It was, in my bit of research in acquainting myself with this wonderful film, it was the complete spirit of an independent film, one trailer that you graciously shared with the cast.
No, it wasn't even a trailer. It was we all had trailers at our base camp, small trailers, just to get changed and have breakfast in the morning. But there was one little trailer on set with a bathroom, and it was considered like the air conditioner box. And that's where my dog would sit. And then we would just go in and out and, drag in mud. And there was always a few bottles of wine there. And everything, listen, we were like the Shakers. We're all unified, we're all treated equal, everything about it is, and that's, I think, also the spirit of the movie. It's like, we knew what we were doing, there's no hierarchy on this set. Obviously there's a leader in Mona, and we needed her. We called her Mother Mona, but it was very much like an independent film where we're just like, we are doing it because, by golly, we love this. And it's always a nice feeling. That doesn't make it any easier, but
right. It seems like everyone assembled on this project, from top to bottom, and really loved what they were doing, and like you hung out together. I hear of a great dance party after a particular long day. We
only did that once. I was like, we're gonna play music at the end of every day. We're gonna let loose. We only did the first day. That's a good start. But it did feel very cathartic, and also we were so tired that you think that we could move our feet just 1 minute more, and everybody got like this second wind because it felt very. I don't know. It was. It's just what happens when people come together to dance. It's just an energetic sharing of energies. It's just always positive.
Yeah. Well, that's I would love to talk about the movement in this, because I like to tell people I got to go in blind to this film, and that first opening sequence is so powerful, because when the women in the field, I was like, oh, is this about witches? Mm-hmm. And I mean that in the most complimentary sense.
Yes, I agree.
But can you talk a little bit about the dance and the specific movement? Because you've done dance before. I'm just wondering what this kind of movement was like for you.
But I don't enjoy dancing with choreography. I would like to. I want to just improv. If I dance at a wedding, I'm just in my own little world, which is, I think, what we all enjoy when we dance, to just be free with our bodies. And you couldn't do that, but you had to make it feel like it was free, and that it did come from some higher power and some type of meditation. And sometimes that these Shakers would dance for days, like very much like a rave. And that was their drug. That was their way of being sensual, because they didn't fornicate at all, which is another thing, completely radical and beautiful though, and in the reason behind it. But it takes me a really long time to learn choreographed moves, and I had a lot of time to do that. And when I wasn't working, Celia Robson Hall and I or her assistant would meet me up upstate in this beautiful little acting studio, and we just moved for 5 hours at a time, and these movements had to feel second nature, of course, because it was her way of worshiping, and it had to be primal and natural, organic, but also like they moved not for performance value, they moved to feel closer to God, and that's just like that made it I felt like the responsibility was just that much more extreme. But it did take me a long time. It was very frustrating at first, because I was like, well, what? Because you know this one, this thing, it was that second nature now. But only now. no, during the shooting. But and then we had a lot of time, like we had a week before we started shooting where we were all together. But the movement is so important to their journey and to their worship, and so is the music. The music, of course, comes more naturally. But I will say the music, that didn't feel as organic as I thought it was going to feel. Daniel Blumberg, who composed and kind of reinvigorated these old Shaker hymns. Reinvigorated is like, to say the least. That's like, there's a beautiful words I can use to
Do you feel like you were
articulate
finding
that.
like a different part of your voice?
I was singing from a different part of my body, completely, and it's revolutionized the way I sing and the way I relate to my own voice. I don't listen the same way. There's no judgment anymore when I sing, because I'm just accepting that I'm human and that I'm not gonna sing the way I thought I always would with the right training. Like, my vibrato is my vibrato, and I have to accept that, and that's okay, because it worked for Aunt Lee. And maybe I'm not a beautifully trained singer, maybe I'll never be on Broadway, but I think my voice is just fine, and like, it worked for this. But again, different rhythms, that was hard. Sometimes Daniel doesn't have a rhythm, and if for anybody who trained, trained musically or in movement, 1, 2, 3, like, that's crucial.
Yeah.
And there was not that when it came to music.
Did you sleep really well while you were making this? Because it just seems like.
Oh, I always sleep well. Yeah.